Today we're going to be using our color wheel to create something called analogous colors. Analogous colors are when you use three colors that are next door to each other on the color wheel to create a harmonious, interesting piece of artwork. These colors can be reds and oranges, they can be blues and greens, but whatever they do, the great thing about them also is that when they're together and they blend, they create a beautiful new color.
So now that you know a little bit about analogous colors, let's talk about our job for the day. So today what we're going to do is we're actually going to be creating something called a print. We are going to be using a marker of some sort. You are going to have something to transfer on. Now I know that you can also do this on, you can do this either on aluminum foil, or you're actually going to be coloring on like a plastic bag, something like a Ziploc bag. You'll need a piece of paper, and then you're going to need your color wheel because I'm going to choose analogous colors first. I think that I'm going to choose three colors that are over here. So maybe I'm going to choose red, violet, and violet. This will allow me to create kind of pinks and reds, as well as the violet or the purple. So I'm going to put this off to the side. So I'm using those three colors over here. And so pink is technically a red because it's a tint of red. I'm going to pull out my pinks. I'm going to pull this one out, and I'm going to pull out the purple. So these are the colors I'm going to use. I'm actually not going to do anything on my paper yet, except for I'm going to write my name. My name is Mrs. Hewitt, so I write Hewitt, and my teacher code. It's going to be 3S, 3G, 3 something. Your teacher might have a different teacher code. It's really important that you do that right now so you don't forget it. So please, please, please stop, pause, write that on there. I'm going to put this off to the side. Now here's where the fun starts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first place my paper in its way, and I'm going to grab one of my markers and really carefully just mark off the corners on your plastic bag or your aluminum foil, whatever you're using. And I'm going to pull this paper out of the way. So I just created a little guide for myself. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to color in little patches. I can make it so it has like a pattern. I can do stripes, I can do lines, I can just do little patches of color. I think I'm just going to do little patches of color. There's no real rhyme or reason. So I color these pieces in, and then I'm going to grab my other color and continue my work. So now that I've done purple, I'm going to move on to pink. Oh, losing some markers. Now here's the part that's really important. I am not going to run over a color with another color. I'm going to keep them completely separate, just patching these pieces in. Now if I ran over with my pink marker on top of my purple marker, I'm going to end up with a pink or purplish tip, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to ruin my marker, so I'm trying my best not to touch the color that I've already put down. If I accidentally do it a little bit, that's okay. I just continue to color. Switch my color, switch on to red, and I continue my work. Now, before I do the next step, what I need to do is really make sure that I clean up my space, because the next step is going to make a little bit of a mess on its own. So make sure you put your markers away. I'm actually going to put my pencil away as well. I'm going to make sure that my whole surface is clean. I'm even going to put away my sketchbook, get those tucked away, and all of my supplies. Now, this needs to be slid over to the side for a moment. And now I'm going to work on my paper. Here's my name and my teacher code. I'm going to work on the front side. This is the back side. And what you're gonna find is you're gonna find a water cup, and you are going to find a paintbrush. And what you're gonna do is you are going to paint your entire paper with water. So you have a nice big chunky paintbrush is what I would recommend. That allows you to be able to cover more surface a little faster. You're not making puddles on your paper. You just want your paper to be damp. Damp means that it's not super wet, it's not soaky, can't even talk, or puddly, if those are even words. And it's not dry to the touch. It should feel cold and it should feel wet. So I check my fingers, making sure that I don't have anything on there, which I do. It looks like I have a little purple. Now, here's where the fun begins. I'm gonna slide this guy back over. This is covered corner to corner, edge to edge with water. And now what I'm gonna do is place it face down or wet side down on my paper. Now what I wanna do is I wanna give my paper a nice back rub. So I'm going corner to corner, edge to edge. Notice that my hands are flat as I'm giving that back rub. And I wanna make sure that I am going all the way through If you're at home and you need a tool, you can use a spoon. Now you don't want to rub too hard. It's not about beating anything up. We're not banging or making noise. You're just giving it a back rub. It's a quiet job. And what you can do to check it is you can hold it here almost like a hinge or a door or a book, and I'm gonna flip it back and check it. So it looks like I've done a pretty decent job. I noticed right here that it didn't transfer quite as well. So I'm gonna hinge this back. And I think that color's transferred over just about as well as it's going to. And there is my marker print. So today, when you're finished with this, it's now time for us to do a little cleanup. Now here's the great part. This is almost dried to the touch. So this is going to sit on my sketchbook. That's going to sit there and dry while I clean up. What I'm going to do now is I am going to grab a wipe, the sanitizing wipes, and I'm gonna wipe this entire thing down so it's ready for another class. Yeah, let's do a quick pause and a quick talk on cleanup. So I grabbed a wipe. This is your orange wipes, and what I'm gonna do is I am going to wipe in one direction. I fold the wipe over. What I'm not doing is a crazy wipe. Otherwise, I'm going to end up either cutting myself on the edge of this aluminum foil or wrinkling it. And this is going to be used for another person, which is why I'm using the sanitizing wipes. You might end up with a little marker on you, which will be fine. You might need a second wipe to do a quick rinse off. You might also have edges like I just created, but what you want to do is just wipe this clean, put it off to the side for your teacher, and they will come around and collect them and move them. So here's the awesome thing. Now that I've cleaned up, my space is totally tidy. My markers are put away, my sketchbooks, mostly my sketchbooks put away. Now what I can do is this is dry enough that I can slide it in the front pocket. Now this is going to stay here for a couple of weeks. Please make sure that you do not lose that. That is going to be used for a project a few classes away. So this is your background, and we'll create a foreground and start that practice next week. I hope you enjoyed creating your analogous color marker prints.